Hello, this is Joe Rosenberger, go by Rosie. This will be my program description for process triaging for executives. The target audience is for basically peer advisory associations like EO and Vistage, Tech, etc. Let me share my screen right quick, and I'll cover the program. Consider, in terms of key questions and decisions about what the program is about, is we ask the audience, typically executives, to consider their core business process, from say customer first touch all the way to contract or transaction delivery and such, all the way to cash. Should process improvements be driven by those closest to the work? Generally, the answer is yes. What's more dangerous to a process? Design flaw or an operations error? How might we demonstrate that we could scale to investors and customers? And how can we be confident that we're always improving the right things in the right order, given how few resources we have? Well, that's what the big idea is. Business process is like, our sales process or operations or customer care. That these processes routinely and naturally break as we ask more of them. So dealing with this a competitive and cultural advantage, recognizing that how we do things will change as we grow. And to do that, we need to equip our go-to folks, the ones that we know who they are, the ones that are right in the front lines of those core processes. We need to create an environment where they can handle maximum business process stress, and in that, build a more cohesive situation where emotionally smarter, but most importantly, a continuously scaling organization while we're at it. And that's what this triaging is all about. It's basically it's a 2-act presentation. First act is I cover what triaging is, the protocol itself, and then there's a break, and we'll talk about case studies and what's it look like when teams do it. Now, to give you a little sense of it, triaging it's French for to pick out, and we're familiar with triaging in the medical world from the typically 4 tags that are thrown by emergency responders in a mass casualty event. Note that no patient care is given during triage. All they do is they just look at the patient and tag it. Say, hey, here's then the nature of the wound and its priority, and then the caregivers are right behind them, pulling patients based on the precedence of their tag. Well, in my 25 years of issue processing with teams over literally thousands of teams, we've learned that there are 4 solutions to any kind of issue or problem in a business process. Really, any kind of issue. It's analyze what we don't understand, design a best practice if one's missing, train an existing best practice, or if it doesn't need training, and enforce it. And in this, for purposes of this program, that the core business process is our patient. I'll cover about how to recognize real pain points and how to separate pain from noise, how to sort and size solutions before you attempt them, and then how do you go about ranking these solutions very quickly so that we end up with the highest return on investment possible upon implementation. When we say business process, we typically are in the sales and delivery. That's where we do most of our immersions and case studies in my practice. And I'll bring case studies of companies that your members represent. It's very likely we've done it, if not their exact kind of company, one very close to it. And will show how it can get complicated as you scale. Another thing that we'll talk about is how to demonstrate that you can scale to customers and investors, either whether you're buying a company or you want to position yourself to sell. Is how can you empirically demonstrate, yeah, we can scale? And what we do is we look at these kinds of solutions in a mass casualty event, an immersion triage, and we're looking for What we don't want to see is a whole lot of large project size go analyze things like, for example, a startup or something. Whereas the most scalable profile is one where we just have a lot of small things, small actions that are enforcing best practices. And of course, every organization is between one of these two goalposts at any point in time. But this profile is very interesting. It predicts or asserts how scalable you are. And of course, as a company grows, it goes through these moments where everything's fine, we're taking on more business, doing more work, and then things quit working because things break as they scale naturally. And so we have one of these triaging moments. We sort things out and we grow some more. And we'll talk about what that actually looks like. I also want to stress that this triaging supports branded operating systems like EOS, Great Game, and Gazelles, for example. So let me stop sharing and just give you a couple other things too here. The ideal audience for this is in the operation space. The COOs or their understudies. In fact, we encourage you to invite, if you allow guest members to come and observe talks like this, we encourage you to invite prospective members or members that are in the operations side of your members' companies. Typically, all I need is a big screen TV, or I'll bring my digital projector. I bring my own handouts and such. It's about typically a 2.5 hour program, and thank you for considering it.